Coming up next, the city reaches a $46 million settlement with Instacart. But it's not the end of the court battles tonight when it comes to gig workers and benefits.
Politicians trying to win over Hispanic voters and why they often get it wrong. We'll hear from the experts.
Why is this coffee shop in Alpine so popular? It has to do with Padres star pitcher Joe Musgrove. We're getting away to a sustainable retreat here in Ramona.
And no child should have to sleep on the ground, which is why Sleep in Heavenly Peace wants to show you how to build a bunk bed and give it away.
And San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria is here live to answer your questions. CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts now.
Today, the city announced a $46 million settlement in its lawsuit against a grocery delivery company. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. Instacart became very popular with a lot of San Diegans, especially when the pandemic hit.
At issue are gig workers and their benefits. As CBS 8's David Govison reports, there are more court battles ahead.
The lawsuit we brought alleged that Instacart was treating its employees as independent contractors.
The $46 million settlement will go to more than 3,000 drivers who worked for Instacart between 2015 and 2020. City Attorney Mara Elliott sued the grocery delivery company in 2019, alleging Instacart drivers should be classified as employees, not independent contractors.
If they are not treated as employees, they don't get the benefits that an employee would get.
Classifying gig workers as employees allows them to receive benefits like minimum wage, overtime, health insurance, or workers' compensation should a gig worker get hurt on the job.
Workers' compensation, for instance, let's say somebody was injured on the job, they wouldn't have had that insurance benefit, which means that taxpayers in the state of California would end up picking up the cost for an injured employee.
But Instacart did not admit to any wrongdoing in the settlement. The company says it will continue to classify its employees as independent contractors. Instacart has always properly classified drivers as independent contractors, giving them the ability to set their own schedule and earn on their own terms, the company wrote in a statement. Meanwhile, an appeals court challenge continues over California's Proposition 22, which exempted Lyft, Uber, and other gig drivers from being classified as employees.
It should be abundantly clear to gig companies that they need to treat their employees appropriately. And if they are not truly independent contractors, they need to be treated like employees.
Now, if you previously worked as a driver for Instacart, you should be notified via email exactly how much money you may receive from that lawsuit settlement. It's all going to depend on how many hours you worked for the company.
All right, David, and just to clarify, because there's been so much back and forth surrounding this issue, right now, Uber and Lyft drivers are still considered independent contractors?
Yes, that's exactly correct. It's all going to depend on the final court ruling that comes down on Proposition 22. And until that comes down, those gig workers with Uber, Lyft, Instacart, they're still going to be treated as independent contractors.
All right. Thanks so much for that update. Appreciate it. If you don't want to wait until next month to vote and you don't want to vote by mail, you can vote early at the County Registrar of Voters. You can go to the office in Kearny Mesa weekdays from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. If you haven't received your mail ballot yet, you can expect to receive it in the next week. You don't need postage to return the ballot by mail. If you'd prefer to drop it off at a ballot collection box, we've put the list of locations on our help button at cbs8.com. Nurse practitioners will soon be able to perform abortions here in California without the supervision of a doctor. Governor Gavin Newsom signed the law last month. It was first introduced in February when other states began trying to limit abortions. In June, Roe v. Wade was overturned. The bill's author, Senate President Pro Tem Tony Atkins from San Diego, says it will help increase the capacity to handle the influx of abortion patients coming to California from other states. This new law will take effect in January.
The Padres' World Series hopes are still very much alive. Last night, the Friars dominated the Mets in the winner-take-all finale of the wild card round. Padres pitching, led by hometown hero Joe Musgrove, held one of baseball's best offenses to just one hit in 9 innings. Final score 6-0 Padres. Up next, a Southern California showdown against the Los Angeles Dodgers.
And we are ready. Okay, so the Padres' big win is making for some long lines at this East County coffee shop you see here.
Yeah, Joe Musgrove's parents own Cafe Adesso on Tavern Road in Alpine, not far from El Cajon, where the star pitcher grew up.
CBS 8's Shannon Handy was there today and has more on the excitement and just how far people traveled for their cup of Joe.
I talked to people who drove all the way from the South Bay just to have coffee here at Cafe Adesso in Alpine. One of the most popular items on the menu is the 44, in honor of number 44, Joe Musgrove.
Hi there. Mondays are typically busy at Cafe Adesso in Alpine, especially today following the Padres' win over the New York Mets Sunday night.
Oh yes, this is very busy. They're asking about the Padres and see if we watch the game, and they're just really excited about everything.
Go Padres! This family drove up for National City decked out in Padres gear.
Absolutely.
We have to support our boy Joe. And they weren't the only ones.
Especially after what happened yesterday, we got to show our support for JoJo.
This woman lives in Chula Vista. Her excitement for the Padres is what brought her here, saying watching Joe Musgrove and the rest of the team advance in the playoffs is a feeling like no other.
I'm a season ticket holder, so I've got my tickets ready, and I am so excited. Called my dad, was like, Dad, we're going! So it was a lot of fun, especially sitting next to some Dodger fans, and they're excited too, though, because then they get to come here and we get to stomp them at home.
Throughout the morning, the walk-up line was just as long as the drive-through, and no one appeared to complain.
It's always worth the wait. It's amazing coffee, it tastes great, and we're happy to support.
Joe Musgrove grew up in nearby El Cajon. His parents have owned Cafe Adesso for about 20 years, but you only find one picture of him posted on the wall inside. If you're lucky, you may catch him in person.
Does Joe come around? Every once in a while you get a sighting, so it's kind of fun. Every once in a while you show up and he's here.
Employee Melissa Martinez says you're more likely to see Joe's mom, who's here a couple times a week.
Comes in, makes coffee, talks to the customers. She's really fun.
As for that number 44 drink people like, it's pretty tasty.
The 44 is our vanilla half and half and cold brew.
Though it's not just the coffee people come for, it's the pride they have for a hometown kid who is not only making his own dreams come true, but is doing the same for an entire fan base.
Just hearing El Cajon being mentioned on a national ESPN ball game broadcast and, bringing a lot of pride to El Cajon. We're proud of Joe Musgrove and everything he's done for the city and the Padres.
In Alpine,
he left, came back, and he's happy here, and he's breaking records and making history back home. So it's super exciting to have that here.
Shannon Handy, CBS 8.